Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a Crossroads business is spreading holiday cheer, how they're helping their community next. Burn bans are lifted in several Crossroads counties, but fire officials still have major concerns about New Year's celebration. And Trump takes action in northern Nigeria. What prompted the move? Next.
Well, time's ticking to put up those inflatables because we got a strong cold front in our forecast. We'll talk about that coming up.
An unusual method to steal from a 7-Eleven on Christmas Eve. The dramatic footage showing their plan in action. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here with us. I'm Amaya Norman. Shauna Curry has the night off. One Victoria restaurant owner is turning holiday spirit into action, handing out more than 600 boxes of food to neighbors in need. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley talked with the owner to find out why making sure no one goes hungry matters so much during this time of year.
Texas seafood owner Ben Pham's #1 mission is making sure that people are fed. Pham says he wants to be a light for the younger generation and teach them how to love and give back.
I feel great, especially for the community, that me and my staff and a lot of volunteer and donation people, we have one purpose. Is cheer the people up when they need the most.
Pham emphasizes the importance of giving back, saying when you give food away, you're also giving love to that person.
I just want to send the message back to the community that we can share love and we can spread it out.
Pham plans to feed the homeless again next year, saying that he loves to feed the homeless. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
With Christmas in the rear view, Victoria city officials are gearing up for New Year's Eve. First responders say safety is top of mind as celebrations light up the sky. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting spoke with the fire marshal office. Trenton, what are they watching for most closely this year?
Well, Amaya, the biggest concern is definitely the danger of fire, especially in the area's current drought stage. Several Crossroads counties, including Victoria County, rescinded burn bans in the last few months. But City of Victoria Assistant Fire Marshal Drew Pilkington tells me that the area is still pretty dry, despite getting enough rain to end that burn ban. Fireworks can be a big threat in these dry conditions, and first responders are pushing for fireworks safety for anyone in the county participating in this annual tradition.
So Victoria County and along with the surrounding counties have recently come out of a burn ban. Most all of them have lifted it, but that doesn't mean that we're out of any risk for fire. We're nowhere near out of a drought. Even the recent rains, morning fogs that we have in the morning, all of our fuels, dry fuels on the grounds are still very, very susceptible to catching fire easily with sparks, such as from fireworks.
Fire officials say to keep plenty of water, up to 5 gallons nearby for any residents who are planning to pop fireworks off in the county, and to make sure used fireworks are submerged and completely put out before they're thrown away. Now, as a reminder, all fireworks are banned in the city of Victoria. That means your aerial rockets or even your sparks on the ground, they're all included in the ordinance within city limits. But any residents going out to the county need to maintain proper fireworks safety to prevent an emergency due to those drought-like conditions that we're facing. Amaya?
Thank you so much, Trenton. Now, you'll want to keep an eye on the forecast, too, as we head into the last weekends of the year. Let's get a first look at the forecast with meteorologist Jacob Lozano. Now, Jacob, just how dry are things going to be for the New Year's?
It's going to be quite dry. We do have rain chances in our forecast with the frontal system, but taking a look at the drought monitor, it's not really going to be doing too much for us here. Now, parts of us are under a severe drought, and likely up north right around DeWitt County as well as portions of northern Victoria. An extreme drought is taking place there. So very dry conditions, and that's why we have a couple burn bans around DeWitt County, Karnes County, B County, and down south around Rockport as well. But we're going to be talking about a little bit of a shower activity that's going to be picking up here with this very strong frontal system here. So there's the shower activity that's going to pick up there by 2 a.m. Sunday night into early Monday morning. Really just a 40% chance for some scattered activity. Very not going to really adjust our drought monitor per se. And following that is actually some very cold, dry air and very windy conditions likely to last till about Wednesday. So not necessarily the ideal conditions to have fireworks, but we'll talk about the cold front coming up. Amaya?
Thank you, Jacob. After months of warning, President Trump hit North Nigeria, where he's accused ISIS of killing Christians. ABC's Olivia Rubin reports on the impact.
Today, new images from Nigeria documenting the aftermath of President Trump's strike on what he says are ISIS targets there. Video showing one of the possible strike sites, a small crater and charred grass, police blocking off the area.
Glory be to God, there was no loss of life.
The Pentagon posting this video on social media showing the Christmas night launches. Nigeria says the strikes were carried out in coordination with their authorities, but U.S. Africa Command says the strike did kill, quote, multiple ISIS terrorists. Terrorists in Nigeria are, quote, slaughtering Christians, the president previously warning of a U.S. attack.
I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians.
And while Nigeria's president doesn't deny violence there, he has refuted some claims, saying, quote, the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality. Some experts now wondering if the strikes will have any effect at all.
I don't think a strike like this is going to deter anyone from doing anything. Quite frankly, ISIS has been there for the past 10 years in the form of the West African province, which is probably the folks that were not targeted. The recent attacks between Christians and Muslims has been going on in the middle belt of Nigeria. So they're not even geographically very close.
And the U.S. is warning more strikes. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Police in North Texas are looking for 2 suspects after a bold attempt to steal an ATM on Christmas Eve, all caught on camera. Investigators say the men pulled up to a 7-Eleven around 3:45 a.m. in a stolen SUV, smashed their way inside, and tied a metal cable to an ATM. When they drove off, the ATM tore through the store, sending glass and merchandise everywhere. Video shows the suspect dressed in dark clothing and mask, needing just 2 tries before ripping the ATM out and dragging it away. Police say the ATM later fell off on a nearby service road, and the SUV was found abandoned about a mile away. A Texas family is very passionate about the environment, so much that they're taking matters into their own hands, literally. The father-son duo has created their own task force with the mission to pick up trash in their community. And as Carla Costello shows us, they've picked up a lot.
So this year we collected about 1,500 pounds of trash.
Although they have started as a father-son duo cleaning up their local park in Killeen, in the last month they have added a new member, Antonio's 4-year-old brother.
Well, it feels great because there's someone new and they're helping us, and also because he's still little, it will make him learn a lot.
Now Antonio and Martin Tavera have created their own task force, the Tavera Green Force.
It's important to keep our earth clean because we need the earth to live, but the earth doesn't need us, and we need to keep it clean to make sure that we can keep living here and future generations will have a clean planet.
Antonio encourages everyone in their community to help clean up their local area to keep our earth clean.
Even the smallest piece of trash could harm a lot the earth, and then tell them that can disintegrate, and all the stuff it can do go into the air, water, and the dirt.
Although their 2025 goal has been achieved, they are already thinking into the new year.
For next year, I will try to collect more trash than this year, at least 2,000 pounds, and try to do 1 more activity than this year, so do 14 next year.
The kids and their dads say they have a special project in the works to promote what their Green Force has done so far. Lawmakers in Mexico City passed a groundbreaking law answering a big breakup question. Who gets the dog? The new civil code reform treats dogs and cats as family members, not property, allowing judges to decide pet custody when couples split. Judges can now award full or shared custody, similar to child custody cases. Lawmakers say the change comes after seeing too many breakups where pets were used as advantages or to cause emotional harm. Under the new law, ignoring a judge pet's custody ruling can come with legal consequences, with the focus now on the animal's well-being. And if you see news happening, call our newsroom at 361-576-0026 or send us an email at staff@crossroadstoday.com. Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, social media spreads diet trends like wildfire, but registered dietitian says many of them are completely false. And the CDC tracks a salmonella outbreak across 22 states, the food items under investigation, and what to watch for next. Welcome back. It's a question that many of you probably ask every day. What should we do for dinner? And if you're trying to reach health goals, it may be harder to find an answer to that question. And experts say wrong food choices are made every day because of certain misconceptions. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has 5 food myths to leave behind as we move into 2026.
From social media to well-meaning friends, food trends can spread like fire, and they're not always true.
As anyone who's tried any food trend, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Registered dietitian Julia Zampano with Cleveland Clinic says the first common myth, to lose weight, you have to give up all your favorite foods.
Maybe you have it a little less often at a smaller portion, but I think all foods can fit into a plan.
Next, avoid grain products when trying to lose weight. That's false. Zampano says it's a matter of how much of those you're eating, what you're pairing them with, and how you prepare them.
It's most important just to choose whole grains and a very balanced diet.
Third, going gluten-free is healthier. Zampano says if you have gluten sensitivity, yes, avoid gluten. But she says that doesn't equal weight loss.
Gluten-free products are pretty much the same product like bread, but just made with a flour that doesn't have that protein in it.
Fourth, avoid all fats to lose weight. Again, false. Zampano says fat is essential to our bodies, but she says to limit the intake and focus on eating healthy fats. Finally, going vegetarian helps you lose weight and be healthier. That's a myth. While plant-based diets are healthy, simply avoiding meat doesn't necessarily equate to healthier outcomes.
You may not be meeting your protein needs, your calcium needs, or other nutrient needs. Make sure you get all your nutrient needs by the food choices you're making.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
One more myth Zampano says she often hears is that dairy products are fattening and unhealthy. She says that's false because it's an important food group providing needed nutrition. But she also says, like everything else, keep portions of dairy products controlled. And for those who can't tolerate dairy, choose alternatives. More than 60 people across at least 22 states have gotten sick with salmonella, and the outbreak is linked to raw oysters. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC says at least 20 people have been hospitalized, but no deaths have been reported. No recall has been announced because officials said a common source of the oysters had not yet been identified. The Food and Drug Administration is also investigating. Now a look back to some of the biggest headlines this year. Here's ABC's Rena Roy with a 2025 in Rewind.
Year defined by a political comeback, destructive weather events, and turmoil across the globe.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
President Trump sworn in for a second term. In March, the president unveiled sweeping tariffs on Mexico, Canada, China, the EU, and other countries.
Every day you go to the store, things are more expensive.
Driving up the prices for consumers on some goods. The president fulfilling a campaign promise, ordering ICE to conduct raids to deport undocumented immigrants.
It's sending a strong signal to the world. Our border's closed.
Everyone I know is scared. People are nervous to walk their kids to school.
The move sparking protests across the country. The Trump administration also sent the National Guard to major U.S. cities over local leaders' objections as part of an effort to crack down on crime.
It's a sense of intimidation and fear that is just so unnecessary.
The longest government shutdown in U.S. history lasted 43 days and caused air traffic controller staffing issues, flight delays, and paused SNAP benefits for millions of Americans. The year also marred by political violence. The nation, shocked by the assassination of conservative activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, shot while speaking at a college event in Utah. His death deepening the political divide in the nation, supporters hailing him as a hero, while many critics denounced his past rhetoric. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for Tyler Robinson, who's accused of pulling the trigger and killing Kirk.
This is a political assassination.
In Minnesota, a masked gunman disguised as a police officer shot and killed a state representative and her husband and wounded a state senator and his wife, according to authorities. A suspect arrested after a 2-day manhunt, he pled not guilty in federal court. The Pennsylvania governor's mansion firebombed on the night of their Passover celebration.
This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society.
The year started with terror in New Orleans. 14 people were killed in a vehicle attack the early morning hours of New Year's Day after officials say a pickup truck plowed into a crowd on Bourbon Street.
We watched the people actually flip in the air.
And for another year, gun violence taking American lives. 4 killed and 1 injured at the NFL's Midtown Manhattan offices in July, sending the city into a frenzy. 2 children killed, 17 others wounded at a church during Mass at a Catholic school in Minneapolis.
My friend got hit in the back. I think I got gunpowder on my neck.
And 2 people killed and 9 others wounded in a shooting on the campus of Brown University. Nature also taking its toll this year. Unprecedented hurricane-force winds fueled the Palisades and Eaton fires, the most destructive in California's history.
It looks like a war zone.
More than 100 people were killed in central Texas, including dozens of children from Camp Mystic.
We had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
After heavy rain overflowed the banks of the Guadalupe River in the Texas Hill Country July 4th. The year also saw trouble in the skies. 67 people died after an American Airlines flight and military helicopter collided near Reagan National Airport outside of Washington, D.C. And overseas, the United States took military action against Iran, striking 3 nuclear sites in an effort to cripple their nuclear program. Iran responding, attacking a U.S. base in Qatar. In early October, Hamas released the remaining living Israeli hostages, as well as the bodies of most of the deceased, after 2 years of war and reaching a tenuous ceasefire agreement with Israel. Palestinians streaming back into parts of the demolished Gaza Strip that were controlled by the IDF during the war. Over 70,000 have been killed during the conflict, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. 15 people killed in what officials called an act of terror at Australia's famous Bondi Beach during a celebration for the first day of Hanukkah. And a brazen theft at one of the world's most famous museums.
This is the heist of the decade.
Authorities say 4 masked men stole 8 pieces of jewelry from the Louvre in Paris, the jewels valued at more than $100 million. For the first time in the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church, an American elected pope.
It's groundbreaking historically.
Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who became Pope Leo XIV, succeeding Pope Francis, who died in April.
I'm really hopeful that this is something really good for us, for some unity, some hope, love, and peace.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, it was another warm day. You're 83 there right before 3 o'clock, but when it was close to 3, it actually hit 84 degrees. So when this updates, we're going to be tied for the record. That was set back in 2016. We've got a big cold front coming in. We'll talk about that coming up. Well, another warm and soupy day for us here in the Crossroads. Likely going to continue to see this through Sunday, and tomorrow being 82 degrees, the record being 83. We're likely going to be near that record once again before a frontal system moves in here and significantly drops our temperatures down into the 50s, almost a 30-degree drop there in temperatures for the highs on Monday and Tuesday. Now, here's what we're watching for. So Sunday at 3 p.m., 48 up in Amarillo, 85 down in Laredo. So completely different season going on up there versus down here in South Texas. And then the front line begins to move down south there towards Abilene and Dallas and begins to make its way towards San Angelo there. This is by 10 p.m. Sunday. And then we're in the red zone here for the passing of the frontal system here by 4 a.m. Temperatures are already dropping down to 49, and likely by 7 a.m. in the morning, we're going to be in the 40s. Yes, a completely different change in weather patterns here as this frontal system moves down south. And we're likely going to be right around the upper 30s there for 7 a.m. Tuesday. So yes, morning likely going to be above freezing, but still in the 30s. And then we go ahead and get to Wednesday, and we're likely going to be right around that number once again into the mid 30s. So it's going to be a bit of a chilly one, but with this frontal system, if you still have your inflatables up, I suggest taking this weekend to take them down because the wind's going to be howling there. Looking at 30-mile-per-hour winds there for the morning time, 35-mile-per-hour gusts. By midday, we'll start to see it weaken there, but still relatively on the windy side by 25-mile-per-hour sustained winds. So yes, it's going to be very windy, very cold, and very dry air associated with this. And with the cold, it's going to be feeling very chilly. So Monday morning, going to be feeling like 42 and some upper 30s around the Crossroads region with the wind chill. And we're likely going to be at 41 for the feels like temperature by 10 a.m. Monday. So that sweater that you got, that new jacket, perfect time to try it out and see if it actually keeps you warm here because temperatures are going to drop once again there. 6 a.m. Tuesday, wind chill values 31. And then we look up north, upper 20s. It's going to be feeling quite chilly with this northerly breeze there for Tuesday morning. And yes, Wednesday, we're going to be watching for that freezing number because temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be right around the mid 30s. So 37 for Tuesday here around the Crossroads, 35 there Wednesday for us here in Victoria. A big push of some very cold air is in store, but we have to get out of spring first, unfortunately. 81 tomorrow by 3 p.m. Winds will be a little bit gustier out of the south-southeast at 16 miles per hour. Likely some patchy fog as well, but the winds have picked up here a little bit, so it's kind of helped spread out the cloud cover there for us, as well as Port Lavaca going to be likely seeing a little bit more fog than we are, specifically just having more of a sea fog out there. And yes, 80 degrees likely for the high there right around 3 p.m. But it will pick up winds wise out of the southeast at about 15 miles per hour. We're going to be seeing similar conditions as well. Overall, the next 7 days, it's a completely just roller coaster pattern here. We jump from the 80s with some fog and then temperatures just drop down into the 50s with some very gusty winds. There are northerly winds at about 22 miles per hour throughout the crossroads. And then we get to the 30s. Then we get to New Year's Eve, and we're in the 60s. And look at this. Now we're back up into the mid 70s by Friday. Yeah, definitely a very roller coaster type of weather here for us. But I'm all for the cold weather right now. It's winter. We just got out of Christmas, and it's 80 degrees. I think I'm ready for this cold front. And don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. And we're tossing it back to Amaya.
Thank you, Jacob. Still to come, returning those unwanted gifts might cost you more than you think. The new fees catching shoppers off guard next. Stock markets finished today roughly where they started. The Dow and Nasdaq each down 20 points. The S&P 500 down 2 points. And the price of oil dipped $1.42 to $56.93. And if you have some unwanted holiday gifts you want to return, get ready to pay up. As ABC's Hannah Bada explains, it's costing more to return items bought online.
Today is Boxing Day, a day when many people ask, should I keep those presents or box them up and return them? If you're returning, the National Retail Federation says nearly 3/4 of all stores are now charging some sort of return fee. It's sometimes called a restocking fee. For Marshalls and TJ Maxx, it's now $11.99 per package. Macy's charges $10, JCPenney and J.Crew about $8. It's money you don't get back when you buy a package online and return it in the mail.
People may notice that they're seeing more return fees lately. And it's not retailers being sneaky, it's retailers trying to fix a system that got a little bit out of balance. The free returns that were offered train shoppers to overbuy. And because returns aren't free, the retailer was having to pay, costing retailers about $30 on average.
But there are ways to avoid getting charged. Joining a store's loyalty program could exempt you from having to pay that return fee. And you can avoid the fee altogether if you make the trip and return your gift to the actual store.
Experts also recommend using AI and those chatbots on store websites to help you return items online faster. A zoo is celebrating double the cuteness. We'll meet 2 new arrivals that are making a big splash with visitors next.
ABC's David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. More Americans watch ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir than any other newscast.
A zoo in Tacoma, Washington has 2 new otters to celebrate. The zoo and aquarium welcomed a baby Asian small clawed otter last month. The baby parents are first timers and the little otter is doing well. Staff aren't sure yet if it's a boy or a girl and it still needs a name. The zoo also got another male otter named Yoki who came as part of a breeding program. So far, he's getting along with his new parents. Even though Asian small claw otters are the tiniest otters in the world, they're already making a big splash at the zoo. That is adorable.
Yeah, that is very adorable.
What? Otters? Adorable. You like otters? You ever want an otter as a pet?
No, I don't know about a pet, but they're definitely cool to look at the zoo for sure. Now I have the question is like, do otters like cold or hot weather? That's my question.
Maybe cold.
I mean, I guess we'll find out, because we've got both hot and cold weather in our forecast here. So 82 likely for tomorrow. And yes, that's going to be near record breaking for 83 degrees. That's the record. And then we have that frontal system moving in Sunday night into Monday morning with a 40% chance for rain at the boundary layer of the frontal system, likely around 3 in the morning. And then very windy conditions here with temperatures dropping in the 50s and likely could see close to freezing there for Wednesday morning.
Wow, now we're back in the cold. That Monday should have been December 25th. Well, yesterday.
Yes, it should have.
But hey.
It should have. Oh well.
But thank you for being with us. Our next newscast is in 30 minutes after World News.